The alarm screams like a banshee, tearing through the clamor of voices that erupt around me. My heart races, each beat echoing the panic that fills the air. I can't grasp the words. The sound stretches and warps like the heat rippling off the reactor's core. A metallic tang bites at the back of my throat, and the acrid smell of smoke curls into my nostrils, blending with the stench of fear. Something terrible is happening, but I can barely think. I run through the hospital corridors, my shoes slapping against the cold tile floor, my breath short and frantic. Every instinct screams at me. Every fiber of my being knows that something is wrong. I push through chaotic clusters of nurses and doctors, their faces a swirling canvas of confusion and dread. Their voices, muffled, lost in the cacophony of alarms, become a blurred backdrop to my frantic flight. I catch snippets, words like evacuate and containment, but they flicker away before they can settle in my mind. The ground trembles underfoot, an ominous quake that sends shadows dancing along the walls. I feel it in my bones, a forewarning of the disaster unfolding just beyond. The heat intensifies, radiating from somewhere deep within the bowels of the facility. It envelops me like a suffocating blanket, wrapping tightly around my chest, constricting my ability to breathe. I'm a nurse. I should be helping. I should be tending to my patients. But all I can do is run, my pulse thumping in my ears, drowning out the screams of the alarm. Stay calm, I want to shout, but the words are trapped in my throat, swallowed by the chaos. I glance back toward the ward. The hallways are narrow, twisting like a labyrinth, where every corner holds a new horror. Shadows loom, faceless figures racing past me, each one an echo of despair. Just then, everything seems to still. The noise, the panic, the world outside, held in suspension for one breath, one moment of petrified silence. And then, with a shattering crash, reality shatters around me. The walls quiver, and the fluorescent lights flicker ominously before plunging into darkness. A wave of heat strikes, almost like a living thing, lashing against my skin. I barely have time to process fear before it envelops me completely, blinding my thoughts, drowning my consciousness in a thick, choking void. I can feel it, everything turning to silence, the end of sound, the death of chaos. It's so profound, it becomes a vast vacuum, devouring all that I once was. In this creeping stillness, I float, suspended in the aftershock, suspended in a world I can no longer touch. A void, an abyss. I am nothing now, and yet somehow still aware. The deafening silence pulses in rhythm with the fading echoes of my frantic heartbeat, drawing me away from the last flickers of life, a nurse, a healer, lost in the ruins of what was. I exist in this silence, this weightlessness, knowing now that something has shifted irrevocably. I drift, caught in a realm where time is irrelevant, where I have no body to anchor me, only a consciousness that roams among memories. Familiar faces, familiar spaces, they dissolve in front of me like wisps of smoke, each one more fragile than the last. But I know who I am. I am Anna, a nurse who devoted her life to healing, who believed in the promise of a better tomorrow. It was a day like any other back then. I remember waking to the soft filter of dawn light through the window, the world still hushed in the early hours of morning. The sweet scent of freshly brewed coffee lingered in the air, and the warmth of hope wrapped around me like a comforting shawl. I'd put on my scrubs. The familiar fabric against my skin felt like an armor, a reminder of the care I was meant to bestow upon others. I dedicated myself to hoping, to healing, to the fragile yet persistent belief that every life mattered, that every patient was worth the fight. And then there was Olga, my favorite patient, a little girl with wide, trusting eyes. She had a smile that could light up the darkest days. I remember how we would sing lullabies together, her voice a chorus of innocence amid the shadows of her illness. Every time I tucked her into bed, her grasp on my hand was tender and earnest, a promise born of her small heart. "Will you be here tomorrow, Anna? Promise?" "I promise." The words felt like a vow, tethered to the fragile string of her hope. My heart swelled with a fierce resolve, and I clung to her trust, to the stories I had whispered into her fragile world. Those simple moments defined my existence, who I was, what I strived for. But now it's as if all of that love, all of those promises, are sand slipping through my fingers. I recall the days prior to that fateful moment, the whispers of warning that spun through the hospital like an unseen ghost. I worked beside my colleagues, exchanging hurried glances and words only half-spoken, ignoring the tremors of anxiety that rippled beneath our study facades. I can see them now, Maria, always radiant in her optimism, and Anton, who wore his heart on his sleeve. We joked in the break room, laughter mingling with the scent of coffee stains and the rustle of paper reports left unfinished. I remember us chatting about mundane things, our voices blending together, a fragile facade woven over the undercurrents of fear evolving just beneath the surface. "It'll be fine," I said more than once when questioned about the reactor's quirks and tremors. "Just routine maintenance." Those light-hearted exchanges seemed to dull the urgency of our reality. I ignored the warnings that hung over us like dark clouds gathering for a storm, tuning out the mounting pressure that whispered, "Be careful, something isn't right." Each moment passed, cloaked in normalcy, yet I failed to recognize the cracks spreading wide, warning signs overshadowed by our hurried lives. Comfort in routine can make us blind, I realize now. I stood next to the gurneys, offering my expertise, my compassion, fixing scrapes, soothing fears, exchanging comforting words, while beneath the calm, I had swallowed unvoiced anxieties like bitter pills. It's just another day, I would say, reassuring not only them, but myself too, pushing aside the gnawing dread that threatened to surface. And with every passing hour, the weight of unfulfilled promises sat heavier on my heart. What would become of Olga? What would become of all my patients waiting for my care? I had failed to foresee the tempest brewing just beyond the walls of our hospital. Now, as echoes dance around me, I feel their presences like shadows, each one a faint tether to my mortal self, my love, my guilt, my unfulfilled promises. They ripple through the stillness, whispering hopes left hanging, dreams unfulfilled. They remind me of Olga's laughter and the warmth of those trusting eyes. But here, in this endless echo, solitude wraps around me, heavier than I'd imagined. Each moment bursts forth in vivid color, yet I remain detached, an observer renewed only by my memories. I see the walls of the hospital in flashes, hear the gurneys rolling, feel the pulse of life that was, both a gift and a reminder of what could have been. Time constricts, expands, compressing my existence into these raw moments. How could I just stand there? How could I ignore the signs that foretold the darkness encroaching? Questions bubble inside me, unwelcome and heavy, searching for a conclusion I cannot grasp, or perhaps won't allow myself to acknowledge. The haunting awareness of my responsibilities, of those I've vowed to protect, clings, persistent and unyielding. Here, between memory and eternal stillness, I exist, a nurse, a healer, caught in the web of what once was, feeling every heartbeat of unspoken promises echo in my mind. In this realm, I yearn to share my stories, to transcend the silence surrounding me, if only I could find a way to bridge the echoes of love and regret trapped within. The day before everything changed was wrapped in an unremarkable stillness, a deceptive calm that cloaked the undercurrents of fear coiling tight in the air. I remember waking early, the familiar warmth of sunlight spilling through the thin curtains, casting soft patterns on the floor. Coffee brewed in the break room, its rich aroma permeating my surroundings, wrapping me in a sense of normalcy, an anchor in the swell of uncertainty. Little did I know how futile that calm truly was. I can picture myself preparing for my shift, recalling the fabric of my scrubs as I slid them on, the coolness of my cloth against my skin, a comforting routine. But today felt different. I could sense it lingering just at the edges, a shadow that whispered something wasn't quite right. I brushed it off as mere anxiety, something I had grown accustomed to in this high-stress environment. As I stepped into the hospital, sunlight broke timidly through the glass, lighting up the sterile hallways and casting long shadows. Colleagues passed, all wearing smiles that masked deeper worries. Maria laughed at a joke Anton made about the morning staff meeting. "Just the usual bickering about scheduling," she quipped, her laughter tinkling like wind chimes in the crisp morning air. I joined their laughter, momentarily distracted, yet the heaviness in my chest felt like an anchor dragging me down. Through the day, routines unfurled like clockwork, care and compassion fueling us as we moved from bed to bed, diagnosis to diagnosis. I checked on my patients, each one a world of fear battling hope, vulnerability mingling with the longing for healing. I shared smiles and soft words, forgetting for a moment the growing voices of warning echoing in my head, the tremors in the reactor's core increasingly perceptible even to our untrained ears. "Did you feel that?" Anton had asked during our lunch break, a frown creasing his forehead. The tremors had escalated slightly, opening a crack in the calm. I dismissed his concerns with a wave, stealing glances at the clock and the waiting patients. "It's nothing we can't handle, just routine maintenance," I assured him, though the words felt flimsy, a paper shield against the weight of my own fears. "Always the eternal optimist, huh?" He smiled, shrugging it off, though I could see the flickering hesitation in his eyes. I didn't realize then that my determination to mask our fears would catch up to me in the hours to come. Later that afternoon, while checking on Olga, I remember standing by her bed, stroking her hair back from her face, lingering there a moment longer than usual. "You're feeling better today, aren't you?" Her eyes sparkled with trust and innocence, and I felt a swell of pride. I was her protector, her healer, but I couldn't shake the nagging worry. "Will you sing with me, Anna?" she asked, pulling me from my thoughts. Her voice was soft and hopeful, threading a delicate warmth through the heavy air. We hummed our song, the notes rising and falling like the breaths we took, encapsulating a fleeting world where illness vanished and light flourished. In that moment, I felt untouchable, a guardian standing firm against the encroaching darkness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow through the window, the hospital shifted subtly. The buzz of chatter came alive with vibrant energy, yet underneath it all, I felt the whisper of unease grow louder. The laughter around me began to morph into an unsettling noise, a cacophony layered with layers of anxiety and uncertainty. After my shift, I stepped out for a moment of air, the coolness of the evening making my skin prickle with awareness. I looked back at the hospital, illuminated against the deepening dusk. It stood proud, yet vulnerable, a fortress hiding countless stories within, each patient tethered to my heart through whispered promises and unyielding hope. A sudden tremor pulsed through the ground beneath me, resonating deep within my core. I stumbled, the feeling unlike anything I had felt before. My eyes darted to the structure. Was it shaking? The anxiety that had simmered all day bubbled to the surface. But I shook my head and swallowed, deciding it was just a trick of my nerves. Little did I know, in the hours that followed, I would be forced to confront my greatest fears and face the ramifications of our unacknowledged reality. All those tender moments spent with patients, they would remain in limbo, suspended in the fragile web of life and death. I was tethered to them, not just as a nurse, but as a witness. Their spirited laughter echoing through the silence, their stories filtering through each haunting tremor, whispering truths that would soon be lost in the shadows of that oblivion. Nothing could prepare me for the cascade of destruction that had begun that very evening, the culmination of too many ignored warnings, of shadows left unaddressed. I entered that hospital unsure and would leave it behind forever, grasping for the stories and promises left unfulfilled in the whirlwind that was to come. Years drifted softly around me, strange shapes in the ethereal fog, and yet time held no weight here. But then, with a suddenness that jolted me from my reverie, something stirred within the mist, a memory pulled from the depths of my past. It took form, a fragment of a life once lived, and with it, my heart surged at the sight of the object that glinted in the dim light. A watch, an old timepiece, its silver surface dulled with age, but undeniably radiant in its significance. It lay nestled among the racks of forgotten items, waiting for a hand to reach out, to caress the surface and awaken its slumbering history. This was my beloved gift from Olga. I remembered the way her eyes had shone with delight when she presented it to me, her tiny fingers wrapping around my wrist with all the strength her frail body could muster. "It will keep you on time, Anna," she'd said, her voice like warm sunshine breaking through clouds. "Promise to always be here on time." I had laughed then, charmed by her innocence, not understanding the weight those words would later carry. I had worn that watch every day since, its tick serving as a comforting heartbeat, a steady reminder of my dedication and hope, the promise I had made to her. The leather strap felt cool when I picked it up, a bridge to a past where laughter resonated and light streamed through sterile rooms like sunbeams through stained glass. I could almost hear her voice again, her giggles that filled the hospital hallways, igniting colors into the mundane. With shaking fingers, I traced the small engraving on the back, "For all the moments to come." Time blurred, but I could feel Olga's essence weaving itself back into my reality, wrapping around me like an embrace. And even though I was now trapped in this liminal space, her spirit surged forward, a guiding light through the shadows of regret and sorrow. In that fragile flicker of connection, I felt the ache of the promises that lingered on the edges of my memories. How desperately I had wanted to safeguard her, to reassure her that every moment was worth the fight. But now, as I clutched the watch, I was forcefully reminded of the moments I could not be there, the moments when things had gone wrong, the moments when my hands had been too small to hold on to hope long enough to save her. A distant sound pulled me back from the well of nostalgia, reverberating through the stillness surrounding me. It was the echo of laughter, a soft reminder that life, even in the depths of despair, could still raise its head now and then. Each laugh layered against the silence, rippling outward into the spaces surrounding me, calling me back to life again, life laced with grief, yet buoyed by love. And suddenly, I was there once more, standing in the busy hospital room, vibrant with colors, touched by life. The bright overhead lights illuminated the room, casting sharp shadows across the nurses flitting about like gentle specters. Despite the bustle, I felt strangely at peace, enveloped in the atmosphere of care and determination. It was here, in these very walls, that I had encountered laughter, tears, pain, and joy. The sound of wheels rolling across the tile reverberated through my consciousness, the gurneys making their rounds as lives intertwined. I see my colleagues, their faces aglow with determination, a chorus of shared experiences joining together through the daily grind of meticulous routines, reliving the very moments of every promise made. In those hurried seconds of life, I catch snippets of conversations. A doctor's gentle voice urging a patient to hold on just a bit longer. A mother tearfully clasping her child's hand, whispering words of reassurance, daring time to heal the unhealable. I see Anton in the corner, a furrowed brow etched deep on his face, but his eyes shimmering with resolve as he determinedly fills out paperwork. But my gaze catches elsewhere, drifting through time and space until it lands on a corner where Olga's bed awaits. She lies there, porcelain-skinned and fragile beneath crisp sheets. Her small frame sinks into the mattress, the room alive with the hum of machines pouring life into her tiny body. I rush toward her, desperation igniting every fiber of my being. "Olga!" I call out, but my voice returns as mere whispers within this ethereal space. I can't reach her. I can't bridge the gap between my past and this place of shadows. I feel an urgency rush through me, a tide that swells with my longing to protect, to love. I fumble with the watch, its cold metal suddenly feeling like a tether binding us together. I can almost touch her small, delicate fingers as they curl around the watch, her innocent laughter echoing off the sterile walls. "Please, Olga, hold on," I whisper to the void around me, desperation hanging in the air like an unspoken prayer. "I'm still with you." A tear slips down my cheek, and in that moment, the ethereal fog thickens, memories blending and twisting as they swirl around me like a tempest. The laughter transfigures into the cries of despair, echoes of unfulfilled promises merging with the ache of regrets. All at once, I am overwhelmed, and in this moment of turmoil, I feel a soft touch within my heart. The realization that the watch is not just an object, it's an eternal promise, a vessel carrying my love for every moment we shared. It pulses against me, a reminder that though time feels suspended here, my journey doesn't end with silence. Suddenly, clarity ignites, bridging the depths of longing with a fierce determination. This object is my way to reach through the veil, to connect those echoes of laughter with the depths of sorrow, a chance to transform the weight of baggage into wings of love. As I hold the watch close, a profound sense of purpose washes over me. I refuse to let those moments fade into nothingness. I yearn to take this piece of my past and release its spirit, to unveil the hidden stories that bind my heart to the lives I've touched, lives that have shaped and sculpted the very essence of who I am. This connection lingers, harmonizing life and promise, grief and hope. Today, I am no longer just an observer. In the echoes that rise around me, I feel emboldened to step through the silence, wielding memories like lanterns to pierce the fog, ready to find my voice, my purpose, in carrying behest and care forward, even in the absence of my mortal form. The air crackled with urgency as I reoriented myself. My heart, though absent, pulsed with a fierce desire to break free from this ethereal limbo. The watch, still warm in my hand, became more than just timekeeping. It transformed into a vessel carrying every moment of love I had shared. It glimmered softly, as if infused with my hopes and dreams, and the weight of its significance settled in my core. In this moment, realization illuminated my being like sunlight breaking through billowy clouds. The time spent wandering this space had not been in vain, but a necessary preparation for an awakening, a chance to honor those promises echoing through my existence. An overwhelming resolve surged within me as I grasped the power residing in this simple object. I could reach out, cross the barrier between worlds, and pull the remnants of my memories into the light. With renewed purpose, I stepped forward, feeling every pulse of energy the watch gave off, resonating with love. The air shimmered with laughter, the joyous sound intertwining with my spirit, strong and inviting. I sensed the presence of those lives intertwined with mine, each one whispering their stories, forging a bridge that connected us through the fabric of time. "Anna, you saved my life." Mr. Davis's voice emerged from the swirl of memories, his image brightening the space around me. There he was, the man once bound by despair, but now alive with hope, his gratitude reaching out to envelop me like a warm embrace. Each word caught in the heart of the memory was a glance into our shared struggle, a reminder of the impact we made on each other. "Don't give up on us, Anna," called another voice, bright and vibrant, urging loyalty to those behind. These voices weren't mere echoes. They were a shattering of silence, voices of my patients and colleagues who had shaped my reality. With each affirmation, I became more aware of the intertwining narratives, the tapestry woven from the threads of compassion and empathy that defined my life. With the watch lingering in my grasp, I soared higher, driven by the yearning to share the intricacies of my journey, not just as a nurse, but as a soul molded by the weight of love, compassion, and the burdens everyone carries. "Olga," I whispered, invoking the luminous memory of her laughter, the light that had stirred my heart. I felt emboldened. "Listen to me." My essence expanded as I released my voice into the atmosphere, letting it reverberate like ripples on a still pond. We were all promised time, moments to treasure and nurture. Though I may have departed this world, my spirit breathes in every memory you hold dear. As I spoke, the fabric of my surroundings quivered, and the presence of those I had cared for began to fill the void. Anchored in connection, I wove their stories with mine, forming a vibrant channel of shared experience. I could feel their collective energy, and it surged through me, wrapping us in warmth and shared remembrance. "This is my farewell," I declared fervently, the strength of my voice augmenting in resonance. "I release you into the world as beacons of love and hope. Acknowledge our time together. Don't allow it to slip through your fingers like sand." With that declaration, the silence shifted. It transformed from the void into a sanctuary of warmth, acceptance wrapping around me like a comforting blanket. I had transcended my fears, discovering that love is the binding force that connects us all, a lifeline that remains unbroken. As the pulse of energy surrounded me, the watch glowed anew. It transformed into a radiant symbol of the wish to convey love, channeling it into the vibrant tapestry of existence we had created together. Each shared laugh, precious moment, and illuminating tear threaded tightly into the fabric of our connection. I began to fold my essence into this outpouring of memories. My affirmation crystallized into being as I became the keeper of our collective spirit. I felt the past and present merge, a swirling dance of interlinked lives, igniting hope within the hearts of those I had touched. "Carry my spirit with you as you walk this path," I implored, my voice echoing eternally. "Let my love guide you, illuminating the darkness with each step you take. Embrace every laugh, every fragment of grace we shared, and bring it forth into the world, for it is yours to carry." Embracing this moment, I relinquished everything. The warmth of the watch, the light of laughter, the heartbeat of a life lived fully melted away, but not into nothingness. Instead, they transformed into the consciousness that thrived in each tender exchange, each beat of compassion. And in that act of surrender, I would become the spirit woven into the fabric of every life I had touched, a vibrant note within an everlasting melody. And in that act of surrender, cascading bolts of laughter poured through the ether, illuminating the way ahead. My essence intertwined with the memories, ever present and unwavering. I could feel the world blossom and grow in response to my release, blossoming into petals of joy, tracing the outlines of memories etched in time. Together, our voices drifted as wondrous echoes, threads of warmth igniting cascades of kindness. With each shared heartbeat, grooves in the fabric of existence deepened, stitching bonds across planes of perception, surging through my spirit like the tide. With this knowledge, I journeyed further, standing tall against the horizon of eternity. In that moment, I realized my role would not end here. It would evolve, thrive, and illuminate new lives, touching those yet unknown. I would live on, the spirit of care and compassion weaving through this tapestry, an eternal dance that awoke in the hearts of others. Love that transcended boundaries would ripple across time, whispering truths of hope through the fabric of existence. As I took my final step into the light, I embraced every moment, every cherished heartbeat eternally woven into the essence that would carry forward, the legacy of love traced in the notes of laughter and the gentle warmth of shared humanity. Thus, I blossomed into the infinite, a reminder that even in the silence of absence, hope and memory lingered, a testament to the enduring power of connection that never truly fades away. Time seemingly lost its meaning as I stepped into this new realm, a limbo suspended between existence and oblivion. It was an ethereal expanse, enveloped in soft hues of gold and silver, where whispers of the past coalesced, floating through the mist like distant echoes of laughter. A gentle warmth brushed against my essence. Was it familiarity, or was it merely the comfort of having shed my old form? Suspended amid this celestial atmosphere, I felt the weight of my past, my memories folding around me like a patchwork blanket, and yet I could sense a stark absence. I was no longer anchored by the confines of a singular body, but my spirit flitted like a feather caught in a warm breeze, tethered to the lives I once touched through compassion. My surroundings pulsed rhythmically, a heartbeat of time and space intertwining, an echo reverberating round and round, wrapping me in its embrace. I floated, unmoored yet aware, the air vibrating with the energy of what once was. Faces of those I had encountered drifted in and out of view, the shadows of laughter shared and tears shed, those fleeting moments held together by the fragile bonds of life. I sensed their joy, their sorrows, colors bleeding into one another like watercolors on wet canvas. I was a witness to their lives, observing their pain and love, and it became a haunting realization that I could no longer intervene, no longer hold their hands or share their burdens. Yet each soul carried something of me, a piece I had bestowed upon them through my love. It was a profound reckoning that left me reverberating with a strange mix of fulfillment and longing. They carried the essence of our shared moments, those flickers of hope I had imparted into their lives like seeds planted in the fertile soil of our experiences. I closed my eyes, allowing the memories to wash over me in waves. The laughter of children in the hospital, the joy in their eyes when I offered a simple smile, a gentle pat on the back, or a homemade card filled with love. With each recollection, I felt warmth flooding through me. It was a balm soothing every scar, every residual ache that lingered in the quiet void of my absence. But then came the weight of silence. Even in this dreamlike state, the absence of a voice was deafening. I could hear laughter echoing faintly in the distance, but it felt muted, a reminder of the life I had once thrived in, the humanity I had cherished and nurtured. Though I existed, I found my voice stilled, purpose suspended between the grit of memory and the clarity of surrender. "Will you remember?" I whispered, a plea that dissolved into the ever-flowing ether, unanswered except for the quiet rustle of memories coiling and uncoiling. I felt the swell of the universe echo my question, the realization that every soul I touched bore witness to my love, yet I had become not just a part of their stories, I was also their silent companion, tucked between the folds of existence. In this suspended state, I began to see the tapestry form around me, vibrant threads weaving into a narrative, stitching together the fragments of lives that flowed like a river. Faces flickered with greater clarity, the warmth of Olga's smile glowing against the shadows, her laughter bubbling just beneath the surface of my consciousness. "Anna," she called, a sound lingering like a melody that danced around the void, pulling me closer to the edges of my own imagination. It was then I realized my purpose hadn't evaporated. It was, in fact, transforming. In this wondrous place, time was reborn, a fluid currency connecting me to the living threads of existence. I was given a chance to cast ripples into the lives I still nurtured. I understood that even though I no longer moved through the world in the same way, I had a new power, an ethereal purpose to guide and support them in silent compassion. I reached out. In this spirit realm, my fingertips gliding through memories, intertwining them with wisps of warmth I could offer. Every laugh, every shared moment illuminated like stars against the canvas of the night, kindling flickers of hope across the expanse of their lives. As I touched the memories stored deep in my heart, I felt the warmth radiating, reassurance imbuing my essence. I would position myself as a gentle whisper of encouragement. You are not alone. I am always with you. I envisioned sending forth tendrils of light, bathing them in love, hope, and healing. Messages imprinted on the wind, written in the body of the living. With every soul I had known, a shimmering connection began to intertwine with my being. Echoing what I once thought lost, it danced around me like fireflies against the dusk. Time stretched itself, twisting and twirling, and I felt myself expanding like ripples across a still pond, touching yet another bond, the heartstrings of every patient I had once cared for, echoing my presence. With every beat, I sang a melody woven from our shared past, an eternal anthem of compassion lifting us in unison beyond despair. In this realization, I found sacred solace. I had not vanished. Rather, I became something greater. I was the whispers in their hearts, the quiet encouragement fueling their spirits. I could still nurture and uplift, merely transitioning into a different form of existence, a purveyor of peace and hope. As the hues of the ethereal enveloped me, I drifted deeper into the threads of light and connection, reveling in their warmth. I understood my new identity, no longer confined by past regrets or a body bound by time. I had become a conduit of love, a patchwork of memories dancing through the cosmos, intertwining with life itself, encouraging the living to dream, heal, and embrace their journey. A serene acceptance washed over me as I embraced the boundless essence within this limbo. I was not just an echo fading into nothingness. I was a luminary, illuminating who I had been and who I would continue to be, forever intertwined in the hearts and minds of all I had touched. And so, with the laughter and light surrounding me, I surrendered to the gentle essence of eternity, becoming part of every heartbeat, every tear of joy still rippling through existence, a testament to love's enduring power, a reminder that we are never truly alone. In this serene embrace of eternity, I felt the whispers of the universe wrap gently around me, nurturing my spirit with their warm caress. As I floated in this luminal space, memories blossomed and danced around me like fireflies, illuminating the contours of my past life, a vibrant collection of laughter and love. Suddenly, a familiar scene unfolded before my eyes. It was the hospital corridor, alive with sounds and colors, the scent of antiseptic mingling with the warmth of human connection. I saw Margot, a caring nurse, her hands steady as she prepared to enter a room filled with hope and uncertainty. I reached out, my essence intertwining with hers, sharing my strength and encouragement. "You are a light for them," I whispered, sending my warmth in her direction. Margot hesitated, then opened the door to find a child awaiting a diagnosis, a little boy whose imagination had brightened the ward. As their eyes met, I felt an electric surge of joy resonate through me, their connection alive and bursting with the promise of care. In that instant, I understood the power of love I had sown and how my spirit lived on in the hearts I had touched. Time seemed to stretch and bend as I soared through the hospital, each room echoing with laughter and hope. I felt every heartbeat pulsate, every shared story transcending the limits of mortality. My compassion lingered within the walls, a gentle reminder of the moments that had unspooled together, comforting embraces, whispered reassurances, shared dreams. As I floated further, I found another gathering where families huddled closely together, finding strength in one another. I could hear their hopes and fears woven into their whispered conversations. It was a symphony of humanity, vibrant and resonant, reminding me that I was still a part of this collective journey. I yearned to weave my spirit into their resolve, illuminating their paths with the lessons I had learned. And then it appeared, a watch glinting softly on a bedside table. I knew it instantly. It had been my lifeline. As I observed, it shimmered, becoming a beacon of connection, a reminder that my love would always resonate. Those memories were imprinted in its very presence, echoing through the lives around it. With every loving glance it received, I sent out waves of reassurance. "You are not alone," I murmured, my voice mingling with the air. Each heartbeat whispered the truth of resilience, urging them to cherish the moments crafted from love, to carry forth the torch I had lit. As the warmth of the hospital enveloped me, the energy flowed and coalesced, creating a luminous connection between all of us. My laughter echoed with theirs, my spirit dancing alongside their hopes and dreams. It was as if an invisible thread was binding us together, coalescing our individual journeys into a vast tapestry of collective strength. With this newfound understanding, I let go of any lingering grief. The essence of who I had been was not lost. It was transformed into something greater, something eternal. In every shared moment, I found meaning. Within every spirit I had tended to, I discovered my purpose. A light began to shine, and as I surrendered to the beauty of this moment, I felt myself merging with that light, an irreplaceable fragment of the universe, forever woven into the lives I had touched. I had become a guardian of compassion, a gentle guide for those navigating the complexities of life. And with that realization, I understood this was not an ending, but a continuation. The laughter and tears of those I had cared for would carry me onward. My existence blossomed into a luminous thread of hope, echoing through the corridors of time, a testament to love's unbreakable bond. In that instant, as laughter resonated through the air, I let the warmth of their spirits wrap around me, and I drifted into the light, a living legacy, a promise written in the hearts of those I left behind, forever reminding them that they are never truly alone.